Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your location. We are going to be working on diplomatic language today in this class. And um, so, okay, so diplomatic language is basically politeness, being polite in a difficult situation when you need to be talking to your customer about, or consumers or your clients about a difficult topic, then learning how to speak to them in as polite a manner as you can. So. So that is what we'll be doing. Hi, Diego. How are you today?
Hi, fine, thank you. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I have no complaints. So,
Okay.
uh, yeah. So you were here in my class yesterday. I can't remember what country you're from.
I think it
Brazil.
was the class on Sunday and on the same
Sunday.
hour.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. It was Brazil.
No, Colombia.
Colombia. Okay.
Please. Okay.
Sorry, I got confused. I really confuse Brazil and Colombia a lot, and then I confuse a lot of people from Spain and Italy too, which I'm not sure why. So
Okay.
there's this Colombia and Spain, of course, have the same language, but Brazil and Italy are completely different languages. So
But it's a different kind of Spanish.
yeah, well, I mean they're related. They're in the same language family, so that might be why. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Uh,
not sure exactly why I do that.
and the people of Spain talk so fast
Oh, do
and
they?
it's so difficult to understand.
When they speak English or when
Okay.
they're speaking Spanish?
When he speak all kind of languages.
Okay. Okay, so it doesn't actually. I've heard that the Spain Spanish is very different than South American Spanish, but I've also heard like Colombian Spanish is very different from Mexican Spanish or um, um, Venezuelan Spanish. Is that true? All of you have different dialects.
Yeah, it's true because there's so different expressions that we said in the countries that you said.
Hmm.
Uh, for example, there's some words that the Mexican said that is so different that the Colombian said, and maybe it was uh, the same. I don't know. Uh,
Yeah.
I would try to say that there's some word that means the same,
Hmm.
but you say different. You say
Hmm.
it different.
A different pronunciation,
Oh,
maybe, or
not only pronunciation, maybe it's the way that you say it,
hmm. Okay.
and
Yeah.
that's the most important part of this kind of expressions.
Hmm. And also like in English between British English and American English as well, they'll have words that we pronounce it the same, but we have a completely different meaning to the word.
Okay, like
Um,
there's so different. Yeah, like in US.
mhm.
In different kind of states, there's so different expressions.
Yes,
Um,
and slang is really hard to keep up with.
okay,
And different parts of the and also groups of friends might come up with different words. I had a group of friends when I was in university where we used to say some phrases and nobody else would understand us. So
okay.
because we had a specific meaning. So good morning, Audrey. How are you today?
Good morning, teacher. I'm doing great, as
Uh-huh.
usual.
Good, good. And so your alarm clock went off at the right time this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Was that yesterday morning or the day before that that your alarm clock um, made you sleep in, or was it last week?
It was maybe 1 week ago.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Hmm.
And you,
Time flies.
you said that you had that same experience.
Oh, all the time. And in fact, when I was in Finland, I had a studio apartment, so basically a one room flat, and I had a loft bed. Do you know what those are?
I
Uh,
love
Love
it.
that.
a loft bed. Let me see
I
if I.
love it.
Second stage,
Yeah,
double.
yeah, it's like yeah, I'll show you a picture. But I had a loft bed, and then I of course had a kitchen. And what I did was see, my bed was like probably more like this, that kind of thing. And what I had to do was I had to have my alarm clock in the kitchen, and I'd have to climb down the bed, and the stairs were spirally. They actually went around, but I had to climb down, and then let's see if I can find something even better. It was built into the apartment, but and go into the kitchen, and because otherwise I would not wake up. So
Did you do that deliberately?
yes, I made sure it was set up in the kitchen. The bed was there when I moved in. It was I guess it was more like this, kind of like this type of thing, but it was white and the stairs went around.
Okay.
So, but when I moved in, they had these stairs, and I was very close to the ceiling. So,
So
but,
during the way on the kitchen, you totally woke up.
supposedly, but no, I didn't. So I would still pretty much I would go back to bed and press the snooze probably an hour or more, but I would wake up in the kitchen, but then I could sleep a little bit, but I hate mornings. So
What
so
did you hate in the mornings?
I don't know. I always have. I always get my energy at about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I have more
Okay.
energy at night than I do in the mornings. And so I found that like if my natural body rhythm works, if I sleep between 2 a.m. and 10 a.m., it's perfect. So, but the problem I'm having with verbling, so I thought, okay, so I'll teach until 2 a.m. The problem I've had is I get so energetic teaching that I'll stop teaching at 2, and then I can't
Mhm.
go to sleep until 5. And so I've been staying up all night. So starting next week, going to try not to teach at all at Verbling at night to see if I can uh,
Do you like
get a
teaching?
better schedule. I love teaching. Yeah, I've been teaching English since 1994, and I've started teaching online in 2006. And I took some time off. About in 2011, I stopped teaching full time, and I only taught every once in a while for like an hour a week. And last July, I took time off work, and I thought during that time, I made a decision to go back into teaching English full time because that's actually where my passion is. I really, really, really enjoy it,
That's
especially
what you like
business.
to do,
Yeah,
really.
especially business English and adults. Um, you know,
Okay.
people like yourself who know what you need to know and so forth. Um, so
Good.
yeah, so I found somebody told me about Verbling, and I learned about it in April, and I applied about I think the end of August, um, and then they accepted me the first part of September, and then the middle of September is when I taught my first class. So um,
Okay.
yeah.
It's an excellent tool to learn.
It is. It is. It's. I was one of the. One of the people who. I was in online education in the beginning when not many people were doing it, and the whole industry has changed so much. And I went and looked at a blog post that I wrote for language teachers about online schools they can go to teach at, and I would say 50% of those schools are no longer in business, and other schools like Verbling is here, and Verbling is set up so nice that you guys, you pay a subscription and you can go in anytime you want, whenever, I've had people wake up in the middle of the night, they can't sleep, so they take a Verbling class.
And it's so easy to enter to every class in every hour, every day.
Yeah. So the drawback for the teacher is that you don't know who's going to come, and you don't know the level that the students are going to be. Whether they're going to be really advanced or really low level, and then you have people drop out because for one reason or another. Sometimes it's because of internet, sometimes because they don't like it, sometimes because their wife has come into the room and they say they have to get offline for one reason or another, and you don't know what's going on. So,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really.
So that would be the drawback for it, but then again, I'm still having a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah, you're a good teacher.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Rodrigo, welcome. Saw you a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So what did you continue taking lessons during the break, or did you go do something else?
I'm take this class before I go sleep.
Oh, okay. So what I'm asking is, between the time I saw you last, did you take some classes?
No.
Oh, okay. I went shopping. So what did you do?
What okay?
What did you do between the last time I saw you and now? 2 hours ago.
I take a diner.
Okay, you went to the diner?
Yeah.
So okay.
I will back.
Okay. And you will go to sleep after this class, right?
Yeah.
And Audrey will go to work because it's 7 a.m. there in the Ukraine.
Just after class, I'm gonna to work.
Yes.
I'm gonna work.
And you and what's great about Andre, everybody, is he takes his bicycle to work. It's awesome. Yeah. So diplomatic language. Okay, what we're going to do today is we're going to practice using vocabulary words and words. Basically, practice speaking, talking about a difficult topic to your clients or your colleagues in a real respectful way. Okay? So these words are adjectives for describing attitude. Okay, so match the following adjectives with their definitions. These might be new for you, but they might not be. So let's go over them. Number one, the word is tactful. 2, direct. Honest. Rude. Respectful. Polite. Persuasive. Encouraging. And supportive. Okay? So what we're going to do is, like we've done in the past, we're going to read each definition and match them. So, Andre, could you read number 1?
Tactful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Read letter A.
Oh, okay. Behaving in a socially correct way. Behaving in a correct way that shows you are thinking about other people's feelings.
Okay. So which word here means this? Behaving in a socially correct way that shows you're thinking about other people's feelings. Which one would that be?
I think it's much too polite.
Yes, and the answer is polite. Okay, and Diego, could you read letter B?
Behaving in an offensive way, not polite.
Okay.
I think will be rude.
Rude, yes. And bear with me a moment. Yes, rude. Keep in mind when there's "un" right here, try not to swallow the "n", so behaving in an offensive way. What is the difference, guys, between a and un? An. When do you use a and when do you use an?
When it's the first letter is I don't know what
Okay, so when it's
Oh.
vowel, as in a,
A
e,
A.
a, e, I, o, and u. Okay, so and when it comes to pronunciation, it's very important that is used that way. Okay. Thank you very much. So that root is B. Bear with me a moment. Okay, let's go to Rodrigo. Can you read C?
Okay. C. Careful not to say or do anything that could upset or offend someone.
Okay.
I think is respectful. Respectful.
Respectful.
Respectful.
Respectful. And actually, there's another one that's even more follows this way. It's careful not to say or do anything that could upset or offend someone. There's another word that means respectful could be this, but there's another word that's even better. Anybody? Any idea?
Tactful.
Tactful, yeah. So if you're
tactful, okay.
Yeah. So if you're tactful, you are able to say something in a very respectful way. So, say for example, the best example I can think of is if you're tactless, which means you have no tact, you might say to somebody, "You are fat." Right?
Okay.
And that is tactless. That has no tact to it, right?
That would be rude, maybe.
Yeah, it's rude too. I have actually been told that by people, and I'm even bigger than I was at the time. So, but the better way is to say, maybe you could lose some weight. No, that would be more tactful than saying that. Probably not even say that, but if you have to say something, say it that way. Okay, a D, giving help. What one would be giving help?
Supportive.
Supportive, yes.
Supportive.
Supportive. Okay. E, making someone feel more confident.
Encouraging.
Encouraging, yes. And so if you're encouraging someone, you are helping them be confident in what they are doing. F, saying what you think without worrying about other people's opinions.
Direct.
Direct or direct, either way.
It's correct.
Direct is British, direct is American. So, yeah, totally fine to say direct. Okay. Showing politeness and care towards someone who is considered important.
Persuasive.
I think somebody said respectful, and that would be the correct answer. Respectful. Okay, talking in a special way to make somebody want to do something or believe in something you want them to believe in.
Honest.
Persuasive.
Persuasive.
Or persuasive.
Persuasive.
Because
Persuasive.
yeah, because telling the truth is so
Much too persuasive.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't read the last one.
Yeah.
Would be telling the truth.
Yeah, that which would be
Excuse
honest.
me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, can you guys think of an example of someone who is persuasive?
Hmm.
Anybody?
I I'd wanna say that my new superior is quite persuasive.
Okay. How is he persuasive?
What? Sorry.
How? And what does he do to be so persuasive?
Okay. Okay. When we have a meeting, they their speech go deep in my mind.
Ah, okay. So when you have a meeting, maybe I'm thinking of some other adjectives. Maybe he is he's so charismatic that his speech or what he says is well as remembered.
Yep.
So remembered. Yeah. I think people that are really persuasive are politicians and religious figures, religious leaders, and salespeople.
Mhm.
What do you guys think?
Self. Yes. I. mm, uh, I do go along with that.
I'm sorry.
I'd go along with that.
I would okay. You would say on that one, perfect idiom. I would go along with that.
But I said in a short way. I made contraction.
You tried the contraction. Okay, I didn't hear the contraction. So on that one, for I'd. So make sure that you're pronouncing the
I
duh
go
part.
along with that.
I'd go along with that. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't hear the duh part. So I'd. So you have to actually stress the duh part.
I'd go along with that.
I'd go along with that. Yep. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes.
that means that I'm with the same answer that you.
Means I agree.
Okay.
Okay.
I
It's,
With
agree.
it's the
you.
same. The
Okay.
same meaning that I'm agree with you. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead of say simple yes, it's it's better to say something else.
A long answer.
Yeah. I'd go along with that. And what I would do instead of trying to say contractions like I would still use the would. I would go along with that. And as you become fluent, it will automatically turn into I'd. That's what I would do if I were you, Audrey, instead of trying to use the contractions. But that's my opinion. Okay. Let's go on. What are some opposites of tactful, direct, honest, and supportive?
Or
What
for
is it?
for honest, we will be a liar.
No, honest. A liar would be. Okay, yeah, liar would be a synonym of the word we're thinking of. So
Okay.
that would work.
It will be
Honest.
the opposite. I think.
Yeah, that is. But there's another word we're actually thinking that how about this one? Dishonest. Do you guys know that word? Dishonest. How about tactful? I said it 3 times already. Do you guys remember it?
3 times.
Yeah, I actually used it today in class.
Talk for
Talk.
If you have
rude, rude.
It will be
no,
rude, maybe.
it is
Or
rude.
Rude.
So the opposite of that is tactless.
Tactless.
Tactless. So
tactless.
what do you think direct would be?
Mm,
Indirect.
Yes,
Indirect, maybe.
you were absolutely correct. Indirect. Okay.
Indirect.
So supportive. What do you guys think that one would be? Following the same
On
kind
top.
of thing.
On so far.
Unsupportive. Yeah,
So
Unsupportive.
far.
Unsupportive.
unsupportive. Okay. So see, what do you guys prefer when you are communicating with friends and family and at work? Do you like the direct approach or the indirect approach?
Direct. I think.
Direct.
I'd prefer direct approach.
Okay.
Uh,
And how about you, Diego?
I think too, because there's the better way to talk with your friends or your family.
Hmm. So you
Because
find
it's not a formal way to speak.
do you find that women prefer the indirect approach?
Depend of the women.
It depends on the woman.
This
Okay.
depends of.
And depends on.
Yeah, maybe. In some cases you will talk indirect,
Uh-huh.
and it depends of the situation.
Depends on the
It will be
situation.
direct.
Hmm. So remember the word depend. Depend always has the only one preposition. It depends on.
Okay, depends on. Yeah.
It's 100% depends on. Yeah, the reason I asked that is I've had some female friends who have been very indirect with me, and they get upset with me, and I'm like, what? Because I like everything to be completely direct. um, okay, say how you would try or try not to behave in each of the following situations. You'd say, I'd try or I would try not to be plus one or more of the adjectives above. Okay, so you are a secretary talking to an important customer. Rodrigo, what would you say here? I would try or I'd try not to be what?
Mm, okay. So, um, I try to be su supportive.
Uh-huh. Okay, I try to be supportive. Okay. And Diego, what would you do?
If I was a secretary, for example,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I would try to call what you're looking for. Please wait in a chair. In a chair. Just a minute, please.
Okay.
I don't know.
Please wait.
Yeah, I will try. I will try to communicate with the person that you're looking for. Please wait just 5 minutes.
Okay, so that's what you would say. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
Like you just talking to
Okay. All right. And
the customer.
Audrey, what would you do?
I'd I if I would a secretary, I would try to be persuasive, and I would try to encourage him to buy a new customer service.
Okay. So, okay. So you would actually, but of course, does the secretary sell anything?
Mm, no, no, but I I'm trying to be creative.
Okay, very good, and that's totally fine. Um, that's totally fine. Your English was good. Um,
In my opinion,
Diego,
I just try to be polite,
yeah,
maybe.
you're trying to be like what the
Okay.
secretary would say. Would you say it again? Because I think I want to give you feedback on that. So do yours again, because you were actually being a secretary. So, um, what could you say that again? Because I want to correct the language. Could you say what you were saying?
Okay. I would try to communicate with the person that you're looking for.
Okay,
Please wait just a few minutes.
okay. In that respect, instead because you're the secretary there, you would say, um, I will. I will try instead of communicate. I will try to contact uh, whoever they're calling. So I will try to contact Mr. Smith,
Okay, for example,
for
maybe.
example. Then please wait a moment. Or you could say another real good phrase to say. This works all the time. In fact, it worked yesterday when I was at McDonald's at a drive-through, and the guy kept going, "What do you want? What do you want?" And my mom could not decide. Um,
Okay.
bear with me a moment. Usually, it's people in customer service, so bear with me a moment. This works 100% of the time. If you say that to a customer.
Bear with me a
Bear
moment.
with me a
Bear
moment.
with me a moment. Yeah. I
Okay,
learned that
this
on
is
my
new.
first, yeah, I learned that with my very first sales job. And I've used it in every job I've ever had, in every situation, all the time. So it's one of my phrases. So, okay, let's go to the next one. Number 2. Your best friend is very unhappy at work. You think he or she should quit and find a new job. So what would you be here? Rodrigo.
Yeah. Mm, uh, I need to choose any word of the. I told him to keep his work because if your work don't make you happy, uh, you but you will be happy anyway.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I moved
Microphone.
my microphone. Yeah, I must have pressed the button and muted it on accident because I kept going. I kept agreeing with you and nobody was responding. So Rodrigo, you would say I would tell him to stay with his job because he won't be happy anywhere,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Um, Diego, what would you tell your friend?
Okay, I just try to be honest
Hmm.
with him or with her
Okay.
in any case. So I just try to explain it or say that if you don't feel well in this job, you just have to quit. You just have to
Hmm.
find another way to be happy on in what you're doing
Hmm.
in your job or with your feelings with the people that you work.
Uh huh.
I
Would
would try
you?
to be honest with him.
Mm-hmm.
with her.
Would you encourage your friend to quit his or her job before they got another one, or wait until they got a new job?
Maybe I just try to be persuasive
Mm-hmm. Okay, you would try to be
to
persuasive.
persuasive that in the way that I would try that he finds a new job.
Mm-hmm.
Depend on the things that it will happen in this job.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Diego. How about you, Audrey? What would you tell your friend?
I'd say that it's extremely difficult to find a new job in our country right now, because since we have our recession right now, it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to have to find looking for a new job, and if you leave that job, you you couldn't have money for living.
Okay. So you would also, like Rodrigo, you would encourage him to stay at the job.
Yes, but in my opinion, uh, I think I'm not sure about that. If I would say that if the person unhappy on the job, he could take away that job in any way.
What do you mean take away the job anyway?
Go away from job.
Okay. So if he's really unhappy, yeah.
Yes.
I I think it's important to um, if you quit, you have to be sure you have something else. So
Okay.
in my last job, before I quit in July, on July 31st. Um, we started out a year before with 40 people in the department, and then in the springtime, in April, they had a layoff. Do you guys know what that is?
Mm.
A layoff. Basically, they had a reduction in force.
Okay.
Okay, and they kept only 7 of us, 7 trainers, and they started with 40 of us a year before, and they kept 7. And May 1st was when we the 7 of us continued, and by the end of middle of June, there was only 5.
Oh my God.
And then I left in July. 2 other people were promoted to another department. Another lady left, and there's only 1 man left out of 40. And the reason we all left was for the same reason. We were very unhappy at work.
Unhappy at work. Okay.
Yeah, and so all of us found something different. I went back to teaching English. Another man, he went back to managing a sports center. Another man went back to managing a restaurant. And we all, they kept 7 of us, and now they only have 1 person. And they had to hire everybody back.
Oh.
I had to hire people. But
That's very interesting. Sorry, what kind of job it was?
it was a corporate training job.
Uh,
So
corporate.
basically corporate
Corporate
training. Yeah, and what we were doing is we were training customer service representatives,
Representatives.
people basically at a call center.
Okay.
So we were training the customer service representatives to take calls,
Mm.
and
Okay.
and the problem with the job, it wasn't really the job. I absolutely loved the training. I loved my students, just like now. I just love it. The problem with it was the boss. The boss's boss.
Hmm.
Was
She was just uh, she just made it miserable for everybody, and she wasn't even in our office. She was down in Texas, but none of us liked her. And so out of 7 people, one person is still there, and he sent me a message maybe 2 weeks after I left. He sent me a Facebook message, and he said, "Holly, I wish I could do what you did." And he's 62, and he's a professional actor, and so um, he decided he needs to stay where he's at until he finds something else. But it's really too bad that so many people, starting with 40 people, they went down to 7, and then only one person is still in that department.
Yes, too bad.
Yeah, it's like,
he wanted to take you back.
oh,
He wanted to take you back.
no, he wanted to leave like I did.
He tried to be persuasive with you.
Yeah, he said I wish I could leave like you did, because I knew I could go back to teaching online, and I could find students, and I could find positions, but he doesn't have the security. He needs to have a job,
No. Yeah.
because of his age and so forth. But yeah, but it's interesting how when they kept the 7 of us, I don't think they realized that we would all leave. So, but anyway,
interesting story.
yeah. Oh man, I've got a lot of interesting stories about that company.
Sorry, teacher. I was little zoned out, but what year it was?
This was just this year. It was 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in so right now there's only one person. We all started in July 2013. In April 2014, they reduced the number of people from 40 to 7, and now they have one of the originals. So
Okay.
they have promoted and they've hired more, but
Teacher, are you from USA?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was a brand new company, and they made mistakes. So
In Mexico, it says a lot of companies that is a call center. Many people just work there.
Yeah, it's very common for call centers for people to leave very quickly. It's not common for trainers to leave. And it's not common for leadership to leave, but it's very common for CSRs or customer service representatives to leave.
Maybe the most reason was the boss that you were leaving, and then I
Yeah, the main
suppose
reason.
the main reason, I suppose that he is very meticulous.
No, her issue was that she lived, ate, and breathed the job so much that she placed her identity on the job. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
She basically her whole self was part of that job, and so she was very critical of Boise, very critical of our office, and did not like any of us. So
Critical,
didn't
and
like her.
I suppose she is very abusive.
Yeah, in fact, they had a lawsuit, and pretty much everybody except for maybe 3 people did the lawsuit, and I was one that did not do the lawsuit, and now I'm sorry I didn't. So yeah. Ask me later about other. I have like, I have lots of stories about that place, but
Yeah, you tell us the last class that you live in London. Yeah.
It's
in London,
See, you live in London?
no.
Have you lived in London? No.
I've traveled to London.
Okay.
I've traveled there many times, so maybe that was what.
I suppose that you live here because your expressions you just have a kind of British expressions for.
You're the second person that has told me that in a week.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody from Egypt told me that too. He said, "How far do you live from London?" And I said, "I don't live in London."
Because you have so many expressions that the British says.
Yeah, well, I think it's because I try to teach British and American English, so I try to teach both, and that's probably
Okay.
why. Yeah,
That's why.
yeah, because I lived in Europe long enough to understand that there's two Englishes, and I shouldn't think that I should only teach American English. So, because there's British English, American English, South African English, Australian English,
But you feel comfortable to talk what kind of English? Maybe the American English.
Yeah, I definitely speak American English. It's a very strong American accent, especially when I try to speak another language. My American accent comes out big time. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, no, I take that back. When I was in university, I was studying French, and my French professor kept me after class, and she said, Holly, can I see you? And she was very concerned about my accent when I spoke French because I sounded British.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was very funny. I was like, so I sound British. So, but anyway, let's go to number 4. No, number 3. Andre, an important customer calls you to complain about something. What do you what do you actually what will you say, or how will you be?
I if the imported customer would call to me, I would try to be very polite and tactful.
Tactful.
Okay. Yeah, and respectful maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be
Okay.
friendly and supportive.
Yeah, probably all of these, right? But not rude, not direct. Okay. Diego, what would you do?
Okay, I would try to be tactful too, because if a customer calls you to complain for me anything, you just have to be polite, have to be calm, try to calm down, and try to be tactful. I think that tactful will be better
Okay.
for talk to him.
Thank you. And Rodrigo, how about you?
I will try to be polite too, and say him that what I can help him.
Okay. And basically, either you would say to him what you can what you can do for him,
For him,
or,
yeah.
or you could tell him what you can do for him. So if you want to use say, you always have to use to. Say to him, say to her. Or you can use tell without a preposition.
Okay.
So that's one thing.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to number 6. Okay, so Diego, you lose your company mobile phone or your company cell phone. You have to tell your boss. So what do you tell your boss, or how do you tell him?
Okay. Cell phone. Okay.
Cell phone is American English.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities,
Mhm.
because um, maybe mm, I just have to say that maybe uh, Robert me when some people take my cell phone,
Okay,
Robert
you
me.
so uh-huh.
So I just tried to say to him that okay, I just go walk to the street, maybe 2 streets, and there's a person that um, take a gun and say to me, okay, give me your cell phone, maybe. So I just try to
Okay.
explain it that I just um,
Mhm.
lose my cell phone, and
Okay.
just try to be restrictive to try to explain it to her
Okay.
that uh,
Uh-huh.
I don't have my cell phone.
Okay. So
I
you would
need a new one.
so you would say something like oh boss, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was just robbed, right?
Or you just rap
I was just
or
robbed.
robbing me?
Um,
No, robbing me
someone
is not right.
no,
It's not.
someone took my cell phone.
Or someone took my cell phone.
Is that what you would try to say?
I just heard the second one. Someone took my cell phone. Where is my cell phone? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Andre?
I'd, I would add something.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose that the boss or superior, he would be very angry and anxious because of that, and you should say, "Don't worry, just calm down, get a grip.
Okay.
Everything is all right." Something like that.
I'd be careful about
It's
saying
obviously that your boss is gonna be angry.
yeah, be careful about saying get a grip with your boss. Okay?
Get a grip.
Calm down. Yeah, but get a grip. You'd say that to your mates, to your friends, but not to your boss. But
Con-
calm down works. What did
Calm
you say?
down and
Calm down.
control yourself.
Yeah, that one would work, but not get a grip. You guys know this one?
I just tried to say that, oh, please excuse me. I just forgot my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just tried to be nice
Uh-huh.
and talk in a formal way that
Mm-hmm.
mm, that
Um,
trying not
are
to
you
be angry.
are your superiors are they informal with you or are they formal with you?
Okay, in my job, I have a lot of bosses.
Uh-huh.
The first boss that I have was very formal.
Mm.
You just have to try to be so um, respectful, polite,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the last boss is so informal.
Mm-hmm.
So is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So it is nice.
Okay. She's
It teach
she's
me a lot of things that I didn't know, and it's good for me.
she would either
Uh,
say she's a lady or she's a woman
okay, yeah.
instead of a girl. Or you could say if you don't want
Excuse
to say
me.
she's a lady or a woman, she's a female.
Yeah, is
My boss is a female. Um, but be careful about saying girl or boy unless they are under 18.
okay.
Um,
I just say when you say a girl or a boy, you just have to name it a child maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
And when you say that it's a lady or a Mr. is adult.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So the
Okay.
girl or boy is a child. The best way to do it if you can say male or female. Uh, my boss is a male and or my boss is a woman and and she's very informal and so forth.
Okay, I think that my boss is a woman,
Mhm.
it's a lady,
Uh-huh.
and it's nice to me. So it's so informal to me.
So second thought, be careful about using lady. Let's just say she's a woman. So, or a female. A lady, for some people, a lady is, a lady might, sometimes it's, yeah, anyway, a woman
It's
is
better to say that she's a woman.
Yeah, a lady is usually like
A
maybe
young girl?
well, a woman who doesn't work, she stays at home. She's not independent. Ladies aren't really independent. They're kind of dependent on their husbands, I guess. I don't know. I need to think about the difference between a woman and a lady. Next time you're in a class with me, ask me, Holly, have you decided the difference? So it looks like I went ahead and put the link on this worksheet on the Verbaling chat because we haven't gotten very far through this material. This useful structures right here is very, very good. It says when we want to be careful not to upset or offend someone or to be more persuasive, special tactful or diplomatic language is often used to soften what we want to say. Okay? So we have softening phrases and softening adjectives and adverbs, negative questions, and word changes. And this is actually really quite effective to just soften the language. In fact, I have some material on that. I might actually work it into a lesson to soften your language, because using something like "we have a slight problem" helps the people not get upset very quickly. But this is actually quite very. I would, if I were you, I would download this material and look through it. And we've got the answers in the back of the book or back of the worksheet. Just because this is so important, and we spent the whole time on just the top stuff. So,
Chunky and talking.
Yeah. So, as long as you're practicing and you're learning something, that's all that matters. So.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of this material. This is a lot of good material. I don't say that on all the stuff that I have brought in, but this is quite good. Yeah. Anyway, so today is a hump day for you, Andre, Diego, and do you guys know what hump day means?
Harm?
I don't know.
Hump day.
Harm day.
Hump day.
What is hump day? I don't know.
Okay, so I figure we have just a few more minutes and no time to go through this material. So, hump day. Okay. Think of the animal, a camel. You guys know what a camel is? Okay. Let's go back up.
The animal in this desert.
Yeah. Okay. This right here, that is the hump. Okay. So that's a hump. Okay. So a hump day is goes Monday. Oh, excuse me. Monday.
Okay, I understand right now.
You got it?
Wednesday.
That is a hump day.
Yeah. Wednesday.
And Thursday.
Thursday. And then Friday. That is, of course, if your weekend starts, if your weekdays are this way. Mm-hmm. I'm sure in Saudi Arabia, hump day is a different days because theirs is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So their hump day is Monday.
When half year ago, when I was unemployed, every day for me was something like weekend.
Yes. When I was a student, even though I worked very hard, I did not understand what a weekend meant. So Rodrigo, you're a student, right?
Yeah, I'm studying.
Yeah. So when you start your first job, you will actually, like, within a couple months, you'll understand what a weekend is, because when you're a student, every day's a weekend.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I had no idea. But anyway, it's hump day for you, Andre, and it's almost hump day for the rest of you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have a
For
great
me,
hump
for
day.
me, for me, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday too.
Is it because it depends on when your weekend? Does depend on when your weekend is. So
I have a lot of work to do all the day.
do you all the time?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have a list a mile long, and I've had projects I'm 2 years late on, so I need to get going.
Okay.
So, all right, well, you guys have a wonderful hump day, and
Okay,
I'll
thank you,
see you
Holly.
later. Thank you very much.
See you later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you, thank you.